What up, though? We back for another show, man. Another week. And you guys know, as usual, before we jump into the main subject matter that we're going to talk about today, let's first talk about something in which today it's not so much of an article, it's more of an observation. Because, you know, I randomly just like to watch videos, like, regardless of if it's something that I really want to watch. Like, I'll sit up and just watch random stuff because you never know where inspiration will hit. You feel me? So I end up just watching a lot of just random stuff that pops up on my YouTube feeds. But so I saw a video where a guy was breaking down his thought process of the Matrix trilogies and all of that stuff. And he said specifically that he hated the Matrix 2 and the Matrix 3 because they were pretty much designed for kids at the age of 13 that somehow mastered a sociology, which there's no one that's like that out there. But the ability to go back and rewatch art is the key, because if you when you create art, what up, Sean? What's good, bro? But when you create art, that art will remain the same throughout generations, in which the only thing that changes as time passes is you as the individual. So therefore, that art will take on new shapes, will take on new things as you grow in age. And the way he put it in how he put it in his video was how he hated the Matrix trilogies from the beginning because he was a little kid. He didn't quite understand it, but as he grew older, found he found key meanings that's within a lot of the dialogue and stuff that you really look over if you're a child and such. Now, that is some real talk, especially when it applies to music. As you know, I apply everything to music, as you need to realize. Like some of the deepest and best lyrics or whatever that I've come across from some of my favorite artists like AZ and such, man. A lot of it didn't really catch me until later in life when I was mentally ready to understand these things that he was talking about, exactly what it all meant. Like, coming up, I was always just like focused in on the music aspect of it, the beats. If the beats sound good, if he's rhyming well over the beats, like that's all I really cared about, to pretty much gather if I liked individual music. You feel me? But as time has passed on, where I'm at right now in my life, I need more substance matter. I need to understand these things that you're talking about in your rhymes. And if it's dope, it adds a whole nother layer. And therefore, I become the type of fan of music where I want to understand everything there is about it. But there's a good selection of people, man. We all know them. They just listen to the radio just to listen to the radio. It's not about lyricism. It's not about anything really. It's more about just having something to listen to just to get them through the day. And sadly, that's the majority of people that's out there. Now, one day, these people will be able to acknowledge and grow as fans, hopefully, to recognize quality music if it slaps them in the face. But sadly, where we at right now, the vast majority of people cannot recognize good music if they hearing it or not. You feel me? And it's important to understand that these people, we clown them, we look down, we frown on them, and all of this stuff. But they're nothing more than people who haven't, how to put it, like, okay, to have a good ear for music, you have to actually work at having a good ear for music. Meaning, you have to actually listen to that isn't good, and you got to listen to music that is good. Music that has quality production, music that has actual meaning to it, music that has actual punchlines and quality stuff. You feel me? While other people are just hearing music just to hear it. And We like to frown upon the people who's just hearing music, but yet they are the majority out here. They are the next wave. They are the youth. We need to, instead of frowning on them, understand that they need help. They need to be pushed in the right direction. They need to learn what is true lyricism. They need to understand what makes quality production instead of a lot of the stuff that are being fed to them just so they can get, just so the music industry can get paid. You feel me? Like the new generation is not the villains. They just don't know yet. They're at a stage of their lives where music isn't really that important. They don't understand the cultural significance and the importance of what hip hop is to communities and such, man. Instead, right now, it's all about these people are popular, these people are making money. So, therefore, I just want to be like them. I just want to listen to that because that's what everybody's listening to. But they're going to come to a point just like I came to a point, and just like I'm sure you guys have come to a point where music becomes deeper, where you actually need messages or else it's pointless. And that's really what I got from that video and such, man. And I'm hoping you guys got that same way. Like, I'm hoping you guys from this little quick rant understand that all of the youth, they have their opinions on music, whether it's comical or not. And people like to frown upon them, like you don't even listen to real music or nothing like that. But they were once you. You didn't work on your ear for music until later. You feel me? Like that comes with time and effort and wanting to hear quality music. The more that you frown upon these new kids, man, the more they go away from you instead of running with them, accepting their music for what it is, and trying to make it into something more polished. Instead of accepting them for who they are, instead of accepting them for who they are and trying to help, you just crap on them, hoping that some way magically music is going to go back to the 90s or something when that's not how it works. These are the people that we're stuck with. These are the people that can use the help, that could use you to accept them. But that's all for that mini rant, man. Like, what's y'all up to for the day, bruh? And we got a few people up in here, man. I just want to talk about just a few things. Like, did you see Vic Mensa on the BET Awards didn't come out yet. What up, Josh? Indeed, indeed. But the BET Awards, man, they ain't come out yet. Like the BET Hip Hop Awards, but they already fit. And people begin to leak information from all of this stuff immediately. And I'm not gonna watch it when it comes on BET. Honestly, surprisingly, I watched some BET today. And it was only because Harlem Nights was on BET today. And when I saw it, like, let me go ahead and watch me some Harlem Nights. But uh the BET Award, Hip Hop Awards, and it's already become something that it wasn't supposed to be. Like uh they always have the freestyle sessions and stuff. Like it's become a staple in all of the hip hop award shows and stuff, man. And Vic Mensa happens to be in a freestyle session. Now, in this freestyle session, he disses Triple X Temptation. And he's pretty much just saying, he was an abuser and he wasn't an overall great person. So while we going to look back fondly at Triple X's life and all of that, and which he holds a solid point. Like we can't take away from the things that he did in his life, and he did a lot of scumbaggery when he was living and such, man. But me personally, I always want to believe that the youth has the ability to change. Just like my opening monologue, pretty much, I'm saying how the youth how we see them right now, on how they see music, they have the ability to learn and become better as they go. And that's why I did my video about Triple X. That I'm like, I neglected to mention all of the shady stuff that he did and focus more on the positive things that he led towards music. But yet, I'm not going to dismiss Vic, I'm not going to dismiss Vic Mensa for how he believes about Triple X and how he was a scumbag. He should be remembered by that. I'm not going to dismiss it. I'm just not going to go on that level. But so this diss that he got for Triple X, people were catching feelings about it because one, of course, he's dead, and two, the BET Awards had Triple X's mother present watching the video, and people, especially a Trippy Red, is talking about how he'll roll up and fight or something, man. And I don't see how this is a Vic Mensa problem here because like they recorded these weeks before the BET Awards. And you telling me there's nobody working for the BET Awards to edit anything that's happening. Like this is why they're filming it a day. They filmed these way before they went on ahead and filmed this so that they can present it to the people. You feel me? Like there's a lot of buffering in between here, and somebody's job should have been maybe we shouldn't allow this Triple X diss to get played when Triple X's mom's is in the stands. It's not on Vic Mensa. Like the appropriate steps should have been taken within this corporation. But my thing is, I don't believe they care. Either they're so stupid that they could not pick out the fact that Vic Mensa is dissing Triple X, or this company does not care enough for hip hop to realize that this is sensitive because they knew who was in attendance here. It ain't like Triple X's mom snuck in like I would have to do if I wanted to go to the BET Awards, which I would never go to the BET Awards. So how is this on Vic Mensa is my question. Like all the outrage and all these rappers coming out trying to talk like they're gonna run up on Vic Mensa. This wasn't his fault. Like if you're gonna apply that kind of energy, you need to go ahead and apply that energy to the BET Viacom Corporation, who doesn't really support the culture, obviously, who doesn't actually really care enough for the culture, but yet they're profiting off of it, that they would do some ridiculous stuff like this when they had ample time to recognize that this was going to be a problem. But somehow you put it on Vic Mensa. And all that is cowardice. To be real, all of these young kids and stuff, man, who's trying to talk like they want smoking and stuff on Instagram, like y'all cowards. Instead of going after the main corporation that's pretty much pirating and taking everything from you, that not really promoting you like you really want to be promoted, but when they put anything on, then they're taking a percentage off top. Like corporations like this who don't care about the culture at all enough to recognize the flaws in the logic, you're not going to call these people out? Like, I understand Vic Mensa's stance is critical of the dead, and a lot of people don't like that. Which, if you go on, if you don't like that, yeah, you can talk about Vic Mensa on that too. But BET needs a certain amount of smoke from this too. Like, I don't like that kind of cowardice where you quick to go after the black person, but you ain't quick to call out the multinational corporation that's making all of the money for doing this, that you're not really getting that much money off of anyway. But yet you're too much of a coward to call them out for the fuckery. That's really something I truly just dislike. Mm. But since we talk about media, uh did you guys see the the body trailer for is Eminem's new movie for is battle rap. It's a battle rap movie. And it actually doesn't look all that bad. Like, I mean, you could tell the focus in the trailer was on the actual lyrics that was being said here in the battles. As you know, Eminem, of course, is going to go in the direction of this is a white battle rapper, and the direction and everything that he has to live through. Of course, Eminem is going to go in that direction. But I mean, to delve into it like this is a war of people being face to face and they already acknowledging how people are going to come at them like, okay, you're a white guy, you're always going to get the white guy balls, and you're an Asian guy, you're always going to get the Asian guy balls because this is what the people are expecting. And I feel you, Josh, it definitely does look interesting. Like I'm definitely going to peep it. But my thing is, that's more of a cop out of an argument, though, because there has been multiple battles where you really don't expect where the battle rapper is going to go with it, and he's just that hot. You feel me? Like playing off of stereotypes and playing off of race and all of that stuff. It's the first thing that a lot of battle rappers go at. But the good ones, they hit deep. They hit at things that you all know these individuals for, that you've seen these individuals do. Like they do the homework. It's not okay, we're here and you're a white guy, so I'm gonna just talk about you being a white guy. It's become much more. Battle rap has become much more than that because people really be doing deep dives into social media and they be following everything that these people be saying, and then they take the chance at the battle rap to call them out on everything that they have issues with, and in many cases, you you really don't know where that's coming from until it already happened. Like if you guys will, of course you remember the Loaded Lux, you gonna get this work moment. Now, Lux was going in on the persona and what the persona means to the community that these individuals had. It wasn't going into any of the like surface level stuff that this movie seems as though they're just going to be going into. But even with that being that, I still think that this movie is going to be an interesting movie, and I still think it's one that I'm definitely going to peep out one way or the other. Maybe not in the movies, but I'll peep it eventually. But speaking of movies, did you see that they didn't even cast Red and Method Man and How High too? Like actually, they casted Lil Yachty. They cast who did they cast? They casted Lil Yachty and Young is it Young Fly or whatever his name is? DC Young Fly. And just based off that casting, I think it's going to be garbage. Now, I mean, how can you have a How High without Red and Meth? I really don't understand that casting decision. You feel me? That's like we're going to have a football game without the quarterback and the running back. So the offensive lineman is just going to snap it to the receivers, and the receivers are going to just run. That's pretty much what this feels like. You feel me? Like you could not have a How High without Grid and Meth. That's like having a Locks album without Jadakiss. Like, how is this possible? Like they are the key pieces to that whole puzzle. They're the only reasons why people went to go see that movie. Let's not deny. Now, I'm not trying I'm not trying to deny this new lineup here. I mean, I'm not going to deny Little Yachty his moment to actually put out a funny movie that he can build a career off of. I would like to see that. But doesn't this just sound like a straight to DVD? Like it sounds like something that's going. It doesn't even sound like something that'll make Netflix. You wasn't interested in the original? How? Like I mean, the original. It wasn't like a Friday that was going to turn into a cult classic or anything like that. But it was still good and meth though. And that just brings in enough intrigue to just watch it just off the strength of them. And I mean, it wasn't a great movie, but it had its moments though, like when they was roasting when they was honestly just roasting people, like Good and Meth playing off of each other. I just love to see that kind of stuff, man. And they needed that, at least have them in the movie as a special guest somewhere. Like you can't just try to pass the torch to these people, Lil Yachty and DJ Youngfly, who really don't have that cult following that Weird and Meth has always had. Like maybe if they went to somebody who did have that cult following, like I know Lil Yachty is kind of he's notable for the commercial industry for what he is now, but I don't know who I would select for something like that. Like say like take he got Instagram followers. He be on the washed up show with whatever. What up, diplomat? But I mean, who would you guys select if you couldn't get Rid and Meth for this movie? Who would you get instead? You feel me? Like maybe I mean, as I'm thinking about it, maybe a Hobson and a Lil Dicky. No, Concy. Yeah, Concy is a good selection. Diplomat, yeah. But I mean, I would like to see maybe Little Dicky. I would like to see Little Dicky in it because he's just a comical rapper that got the cult following. Uh Hobson is a I like Hobson as a comical act, and I think that could be a pretty good dynamic, maybe. Uh Lil Duval now, I guess, because he got like one of the biggest hits out there. Currency Schoolboy Q. That would be kind of dope. Give me a feature with Kendrick in there. And I mean, I think that would definitely would currency Schoolboy Q for how high variation. Maybe they should have put Wiz and Snoop. Now, I mean, after Wiz and Snoop did the movie though, after Wiz and Snoop Dogg did like a movie, and I heard nothing about it outside of it was trash, I'm cool on them in movies. Mac Miller probably would have been perfect. Yeah. Rest in peace, Mac. Ah, but let's go ahead and talk about the main thing I want to talk about here, which was the numbers for the Little Wayne Carter 5. Well, the reason why I want to talk about this is because I was talking to my homie about it. And I was talking to him before the album came out. I told him that I don't believe this uh this Carter 5 is going to do big numbers. And the reason for that is because it's been so long and I feel as though like like people are beginning to move away from Little Wayne at this moment. And the game has changed so drastically from the Carter 4 to the Carter 5 that I really didn't I always hold out hope because I don't ever want to see nobody flop or anything like that. As it's somebody overtly against the culture. And yes, Lil Wayne has had his coon moments that I can't stand by, but I would still want to see Wayne have some success. And looking at the numbers, it did pretty well, but it's a far drop from the Carter 4. Because in the first week, the Carter 4 got 964,000 units. And that was the Coda 4 was a while ago. That was before the online streams started hitting the way it's been hitting. You feel me? Like those numbers was pretty solid for when everything started deteriorating. But the numbers for the Coda 5 the first week was he sold 480,000 equivalency units, in which equivalency units, for those of you who don't understand that, is streams. Like for every 1,500 streams, you get one. And based off of that, you put him, and based off of all of those sales, on top of the actual album sales that he got, which was he sold an actual number of 140,000. Yeah, 140,000 albums. And the album got streamed 438 million times. Now, I didn't do the actual math, but I'm pretty sure that all should come together as 480,000 equivalency units. So he pretty much went gold, gold being 500,000 units sold in the first week, while the Carter 4 almost went platinum. So there's a pretty far drop right here. But yet, in this environment of the music industry as we see it right now, it's pretty good because you know who else came out at about the same time? Logic. Logic, who is we're right now one of the hotter acts that's in the game. Like you see, he's beginning to fade, but he's this album that Logic just dropped, the numbers wasn't even close because it's 166,000 equivalency units. And yes, the Logic album was better than the Carter 5. But out of that 166,000 equivalency units, he sold 121,000 units. Like that's legit album sales, which was only 20,000 less than Wayne. So his album streams was not very strong on Spotify and stuff, which I don't understand. Like, how is Logic's album not getting streamed as much as the Carter 4? But that goes to show you, like Sean's saying, that Lil Wayne proves us wrong. Like he's still he's not as hot, but he is very hot of an artist right now. Maybe the Logic album suffered because the Carter 5, but ultimately, yeah, I feel you, Diplomat. It doesn't sound right, but maybe it's because the Carter 5 took away all of the time that people had for the Logic album. Maybe they have pretty much a similar they have a similar fan base. You feel me? So people may be spending all of their time on the Wayne album instead of the Logic album. True, Wayne definitely does have an immense cult following, and for good reasons. Because when you go back and look at his run as quote unquote the greatest rapper alive and all of that, he was the only like rapper that was putting up numbers. He was the only rapper that was literally holding down the hip hop culture for a very long time. Like he molded a generation of people for 5 to 7 years just off the strength of him. So just based off of that, it makes sense that he has that kind of cult following, dude. That he would dominate even in this level of his career and all of that to where the music industry is at now. But these numbers are paling in comparison to the Carter 4. So I feel as though he's dominating, but yet people aren't really, the game has changed. And the profiting, the ability to profit is falling to the wayside, dude. Did I hear the Gates album? I did hear the Gates album. And honestly, it wasn't all bad. I mean, Gates is cool. The quality of his music has been pretty solid throughout. It's just the lyrical content that gets to me. And I honestly just didn't have a chance to review it. And I preferred to go to the Dave East style P route instead for Monday. Maybe I'll try to do it tomorrow, but I don't know. I may never get to that Gates, but it wasn't amazing, but it was good though. It was a good project. It was definitely worth the listen. Absolutely. And he Gates always be on some cooning, bruh. And then his lyrical content stories always be on some wild stuff that I do not want to hear. You feel me? But yet his music be solid though. Like, and that's why I've been going back and forth trying to consider if I'm going to review it or not. But yet, it's always I always got to fight myself to listen to Kevin Gates, bro. Uh, but speaking of albums, did you see that they finally announced the release date for the new Dipset album? Like, it's going to be called Diplomatic Ties. And it's going to be an actual Dipset album. Like I didn't think they was going to get them all. But you good on Dipset, Sean? Dipset has, I mean, Cam has been dropping some pretty decent music, man, as of late. Uh, Even though he's been, yep, coming out on Thanksgiving. Even though Cam has been beefing with uh ah how did I forget his name? Ah I'm out. I'm forgetting Jones, Jim Jones. Jim Jones, man. Don't sleep on Jim Jones. Some of his projects that he's been releasing, man, were pretty solid. Like his Vampire Life series that he had, that joint was pretty dope. Jim Jones, I mean, I can understand people winning, like the whole diplomat style. It can like the whole diplomat style, it can wear on you if they don't have the proper production to go along with it. You don't like Jimmy Flow? I kind of, I mean, he has his on moments, he have his off moments. When he got the right beats backing him, heat makers, if he got the heat makers or if they got just Blaze, then they can make it work. You feel me? He ran like he got a cookie. They can make. I mean, well, they can make it work. They're not the best of rappers. Like, I mean, Joel Santana is not the best of rappers. Like, he was dope when he was getting the ghost rapping. Cam is dope. Cam is hilarious, to be real with you. Like, and just the fact that he's naturally just a comedian. And it's like he's not trying to be a comedian. He's not trying to be funny. He's trying to put forth some dope balls, but it's always just hilarious because he's a hilarious individual. That's what makes Cam dope. Yes, they need heat makers. They need heat makers. They need Just Blaze. I would say good Kanye, if there's such a thing, they could use that too. But I don't see that happening. No, I'm not rocking with A-Rap music. Please, God, do not get A-Rap music for the Dip album. And I know A-Rap music got a following. I understand people like A-Rap music. I just never have. I mean, I'm not gonna say I've never liked his production. There has been a few joints, but a few joints. It ain't like he's out here doing mass amounts of hits or super producer now. He got some bangers. I'm not denying this. but he's not a super producer, and they need super producers. Either that or I mean, get me some super producers or give me a bunch of unknown people that got that whole 70s soul in the rock format that they like to do. Buster and Arab, they work well together. I ain't gonna deny it. But I'm not gonna say they're like the greatest pair in history that they put out a whole bunch of classics. Like I can pass on Arab music. Ah. But what is y'all's favorite pair, dynamic pair of producer to rapper? See, the more I think about, like, because as I said in the Ti review that I did, I would like to see a Ti Dre and Snoop. I feel that, but I mean, Dre hasn't produced anything since the '90s. To be real with you, he's orchestrated, but he hasn't produced. Dipset ain't on your radar. uh, but as I said in the Ti album review, I would like to see Ti and Just Blaze do a full album together. Like they've done a bunch of stuff. Shorty Red and Jeezy. I don't know. I don't know about that one, bro. Because the latest G album, I feel as though was his best one since the first one. And did he have any Shorty Red production on there? I think Jeezy does just well without Shorty Red. The Game and Timbo, I can fuck with that. Nigga, I would cop that album. if the Game and Timberland did an album together, I would cop that. Oh, who else would I say? Uh boy. I'm trying to think of like newer newer acts, you feel me? Like take a Jay-Z and Madlib. See, I like Madlib. I especially like what Madlib did with Freddie Gibbs, but a lot of Madlib's production, it wears on me after a while. YG and DJ Mustard, now yes. Like when they first was doing stuff, nah. Because all DJ Mustard had was the one. He had just one beat that he was remaking. He was doing the same thing that Little John did. Like Little John had one beat, and he sold that one beat to everybody. He just flipped it up just a little bit. But yet, 2014, they was doing the same song over and over and over and over. But DJ Mustard now, for how he's versatile and he's getting actual musicians and getting actual people to do whatever it is he want to do, and his production game has stepped up to a whole nother level. Yes, I like. Well, actually, it feels a bit wasted on YG because YG is only progressing because DJ Mustard is Chief Keef and Young Chop. Ah, but honestly, I think DJ Mustard could have a better act that he could work with, like a versatile individual, a young a young act, versatile that he can keep up. I don't think YG is going to be able to keep up, and I don't think it necessarily needs to be West Coast. But yet, if it needs to be West Coast, I'll go with an underground act here that I don't know if you guys know him. Uh he's from Long Beach. He sounds like the next Snoop. What's his name? Uh I can't even think of his damn name. But there's a new act coming out of. No, I don't think YG is done. YG still got plenty more growth if he continues to go in that direction. I'm just saying he's going in that direction where he's staying stuck into his same sound. You feel me? While you can tell Mustard is trying to progress and do better things. So something's going to break there. Common and Ninth Wonder. See, Ninth Wonder was dope with Little Brother, but after Little Brother, like I don't know what happened to Ninth Wonder, bro. Like his production really ain't been. It really ain't really been like that. Yeah, I mean, see, YG does have bangers that will get played for upcoming years, and it's because he knows how to do him. But if that sound, this new West sound dies out, will that will his songs actually continue to get played through the years? Because he has solely attempted to be nothing but the new West sound that they created back in 2014, and music has already seemed to have begun to move on. The only why this new album sounded like it was something new was because, again, DJ Mustard did something new. But I do believe they will play F. Donald Trump for years and years off the strength of just him saying F. Donald Trump and the political statement that he's making here. It's not so much the music. I listened to the Mozzie project. What up, Isaiah? What's good, bro? YG needs to be done with DJ Mustard. The West Sound Clowns Casino. Man, see, here's the thing though. If we're gonna go through the direction or through the eyes of YG, he needs to cling to DJ Mustard for as long as he can because DJ Mustard is climbing up the ranks of producers. It doesn't make sense for YG to abandon a producer that's doing his thing out here. You feel me? That seems to bright future in the broad spectrum of music, not just being in the New West. But DJ Mustard needs to go ahead and be like, okay, you're trying to still do this music and you're hampering me from doing everything that I want to do. Like, that's the kind of dynamic that's happening right now. Mozzie is one of your favorites. Like I really didn't know Mozzie all like that until I saw that the project dropped, and you know how they preview the projects on Dat Piff. Like you can't download it, but you can listen to it. Like that's why I listened to it. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. There's better West Coast acts out there, but Mozzie's cool though. Uh, you heard that Mozzie album last night and it slaps. Like, see, I love me some West Coast music. You feel me? I got a lot of underground West Coast dudes that really do their thing. Like I love that energy that you get from the Bay Area and from Cali and South Central. Like all how they do it, nobody else in the world can do it, and I rocks with that. But yet they're better out there than that Mozzie project. That's all I'm saying. Uh, Diplomat says that Dave East and Styles P project was good. Yeah, yeah. I gave that one the green light, bro. Like, I honestly didn't think that Styles P and Dave East was going to be as good as it was. Like, I was kind of dreading listening to it, but I listened to everything. So I'm like, let me just play this and just chill out for a second. And when some of them songs started hitting, I'm like, yo, all right. Ever heard the guy Reason? He's the new E project. Nah, I never even heard of him. What he sound like, Isaiah? Is he a unique artist to TDE, or does he fit into the profile of what TDE artists ultimately are? They quote unquote they trying to be like real. I'm not gonna say quote unquote real hip hop. Like I will say TDE does a good job finding dynamic new artists and trying their best to put them into a position where they can sell them off to somebody like Aftermath, Interscope, or something. But yet, like, where's Reason from? Like, what's his whole style like? Is he like in the essence of what Kendrick Lamar does, which I'm hoping he's not? Because as I've said it over the years, man, whenever you sign a new artist to a label or something, you tend to want to go in a completely different direction than all of the people that's already on your roster. You feel me? Like that's where from Carson. Reason is more of a ab soul mixed with J Rock. That's interesting. I'm a rock with him. I'm like, what was his last? Did he just release a song or a project or something like that? Because I mean, he sounds like a rapper that would fit in with TDE instead of standing out. You feel me? And my thing is, when you signing new artists to your roster, you want somebody that's going to stand completely out. Like, did you guys see the Defiant ones with Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine? He just dropped something. I should be able to see it tomorrow because I've been doing a whole bunch. I've been catching up on a whole bunch of projects and stuff. I should be able to come across that tomorrow, maybe, and I'll let y'all know how I feel about it. But on the Defiant ones, they started talking about how they built up Aftermath Interscope. Like they built that whole label doing like just critical people on every spectrum. Like they had No Doubt when No Doubt was going in, when they had the one big hit single that everybody knows, that Don't Speak, they had that. And then they had then they had 9 Inch Nails on the other side, which is hardcore metal rock type stuff. You feel me? And then to go along with that, had Dr. Dre doing anything that Dr. Dre wanted to do. Like all three of these acts on the same record label made that record label into the record label of the 90s up until now. You feel me? They dominated that much. And that's the direction that you should go instead of trying to make yourself into the it's like just trying to build a comic book shop. Instead of having a bunch of other stuff at that comic book shop that you can sell, you're specifically trying to get people that buy comic books. It's not a lot of people that buy comic books. Like, sure, there's a lot of people that buy a whole lot of like hip hop, but when you focus your entire label on one brand of hip hop instead of catering to music in general, you set up your label to fail. Though I'm disappointed in SZA, that plastic surgery shit. TDE musically is the best label. Hey man, one of like my favorite writer said, like, if you ain't comfortable with something in your body on you, don't carry that around and just be mad about everything. Like, go ahead and get it fixed. We live in a day and age where you can go ahead and fix anything up off of you. So if you got the paper to do it, why hold that? Why hold that? You feel me? Now, I'm not saying go Sammy Sosa and go completely white. I'm not saying go Little Kim and go completely Asian something. I don't know what she is anymore. She's like an Asian alien. But if you got little things that you don't like about yourself, you could go ahead and fix it in this day and age if it's really messing with you on that level. Now, personally, I'm not fixing anything. SZA can sing, don't care about the plastic surgery. I feel you. Like me personally, I care more about the music. Like most of these artists that I listen to, I've never seen them point blank, period. And I like that. I like listening to people's music and not seeing them and not understanding who they are or anything like that. It keeps you with a blank slate to be able to like who it is you like just off the strength of music. I love to do that, but that's not how this life is. And you guys know this. Like, okay, but my thing is, I didn't even know SZA got plastic surgery. Like, did she get? Like, did she get a nose job? She get some new titties? Did she? She put in? She got a new ass or something? Well, like, cause it's hard out here for chicks to eat if they ain't got the ass and titties. And from what I saw, SZA, hey, I mean, I like SZA's body. She got a nose job, huh? What she look like? Like, did she get the Michael Jackson nose job and it messed up her entire face? Like, oh, she trying to deny her African roots with that big ass bell pepper nose. As who said that? Was that Chris Rock who said that? She trying to deny her African roots? Is she gonna pop up like, yeah, I'm Cape Verdean? Oh, she got the white people. She got the Michael Jackson white people nose. You feel as though Pro Air is the best label with Joey Badass and such? Okay, I can see that. Uh, I don't think I have a best label. You feel me? Like, I mean, because I begun to just follow the individuals instead of following the labels. Like that, I think that's the way that the future of the music industry should go. Like these labels should quite honestly be seeking out the best talent, and the best talent should be like, I only want to sign for one album. I'ma stay unique. I'ma stay true to me and what I do forever. I don't need you guys as labels. Like I'm hoping that that would be like the future of record labels and the music industry because it would be cost effective, don't you think? Like record labels to just instead of investing into 5 albums from individuals, they see people who's coming up buzzing, go ahead get one album, promote it like crazy, and then they split the money in partnership. Like that should be the way the music industry should be going instead of labels benching mass amounts of quality acts. Since you talk about Jay Electronica, even though Jay Electronica benches himself, but that should be the way that the game is going, and people should stop paying attention to record labels as a whole. It should be just, you know, this artist is jumping from label to label to label, releasing whatever music he got because he got the ability to do so. Now there is a couple other things I did want to touch on as well. Like, did you guys see that Jay-Z and Beyonce gave away $100,000 scholarship to a kid? His name is Kaheri Perry, black kid from Oregon. Like, they did this at one of the shows I guess they was doing out there in Oregon, and he wants to go to Oregon University. Which, hey man, I know a lot of like bunch of people always want to talk down on Jay Z and Beyonce, and always want to talk, oh, the Illuminati. These guys are Illuminati. You should never believe them and stuff like that. But Jay Z, Beyonce has shown throughout the years they've done a lot of things for the culture, for all people, for everybody and such, man. Like, I love to see that type of stuff. I like to celebrate independent movements from labels like TDE and Dreamsville. How independent is TDE exactly? Because, like, I mean, they have the artists that aren't on a major record label, like the mid major, in the sense of they develop talent to ship them out to be signed to a major label. Like, they're never going to ship out Kendrick or nothing like that. But yet, you can tell they they find talent, they mold it, they promote it, and then they try to seek out major label backing for them. TD started from the dirt, nothing was artificial. I can agree with that. But as they are right now, like, they still be considered as an independent movement? That's what I'm asking. Because I mean, more than a few of the artists, more than a few of the artists have major backing. But I mean, they just position themselves to be able to, okay, who we put on, we can get money off of them as we move them. Like, it's like how Drake got put on. Like, Drake went to a mid major out there in Texas, and based off of that, he was able to get his deal with Cash Money, and they still paying these people. Like the Warriors, they made top 20 draft picks with immense potential, top 5 players in the game. I can agree with you. And I like that metaphor because the Warriors built it up from scratch. They built it up through the draft and through didn't trade and get these super teams or anything like that. They had a plan, they stuck to the plan, and they went on ahead and found the success to where they're at now. But can you really look at the Warriors right now as that same team that built up from scratch after they went and got Kevin Durant, after they went and got a Boogie, after the key players that they drafted, they're sticking around and means that a a team would not be like. You feel me? Yeah, people were mad because LeBron is losing and all that. True, but my thing is the Warriors still the grassroots team that you believed in from back then? When right now they're making those same moves that LeBron was making. You feel me? Like, they started from the bottom, from scratch, but right now they're not that. Just like how TDE started from the bottom, from scratch, but how they operate right now, they're not that. They're a movement of their own, and they're pretty much they're a mid major, but they got backing from anybody that they say should be on the industry, on in the game. Major labels will listen to them for 1 second to see if they're right. Most underground labels and stuff that started from nothing don't have that. people didn't look at Death Row different when Pac joined. That's true, but they should have. You feel me? I mean, there comes a point where you got to realize you're no longer the underground underdog. You're no longer the started from the bottom true story. Now you are a dominant figure in the industry. So you shouldn't really get those same kudos forever. You feel me? When you've evolved. If KD have never joined the Warriors, the Cavs would have more than one ring by now. Yeah, absolutely. LeBron, I mean, it would depend because what if KD went to the Spurs? Like, ain't no way the Cavs was gonna beat the Spurs, bro. If KD was on there, like KD shifted the power structure of the NBA, and it was obvious he wasn't going to stay at. It was obvious that he was not going to stay with Oklahoma City. So with that, I mean, anything that KD did, it was going to mess with LeBron's rings, bruh. All these backings came from pure results. There's no industry plant, just the tutelage from Master P. I mean, but still, your results is coming the from the major backing, though, for these major orders that you built up. You feel me? You can't I understand it started from the bottom. It started from nothing. These guys on their way to being who they are. Facts. Let's never deny that. But you get to a point where you're no longer that though. And they are no longer the underdogs. And Sean, because the Warriors have proven that they will lose to LeBron without KD. That's why they got KD. And I mean, the Warriors was up what? They was up 3 games to 1, and LeBron came back off the strength of LeBron. LeBron just was too big and too strong for the Splash Brothers. You feel me? And the fact that they all hit or miss these days, like they ain't hitting. They're not winning 4 games in a row against LeBron, who's just going to the hole slamming on dudes. So it would have been competitive. It would have been more competitive. But LeBron has proven that he can beat them. See, I mean, when you look at these finals between the Cavs and the Warriors, like when the center for the Warriors went out, that's when LeBron and Kyrie made the comeback down 3-1. You feel me? Injuries played a part in that, which there was a reason why the Warriors was up 3-1. But LeBron was still that dude though. Now the first finals, it was all downhill from there when Kyrie went out. Kevin Love really ain't never been big in this rivalry, if you want to call it that. See, you can't blame the refs, bro. LeBron came out and beat them boys. Beat them to the point that not to the point they took advantage of the fact that KD was available, but the Cavs deserved that one. Ah, but we got off topic or whatever. We went way off topic. One other topic that I wanted to talk about, man, was the Draymond suspension. That's true. That did play into it, but it was that turned the series around. But Draymond came back. But it was Draymond's suspension which turned it around. And who was this? It was like some big. It was uh the guy that's from Australia, the Australian senator. When he got hurt, that's when what's his name started going off. The Kardashian dude. He started going ham because they didn't have anybody big enough to be able to compete or to box him out, and it was him and LeBron in the hole every time, and that's why uh, that game. I don't know, bro. I don't know about that. But did you guys also see that Chance the Rapper dedicated $1 million to Chicago recently through his nonprofit that the social works nonprofit that he built? Well, how he's breaking it down is he's giving $100,000 to 20 schools, which all of that adds up to 2 million, as it's all for mental health. Like it's all for the mental health and mental well-being of children out there in Chicago. This is the last thing I want to talk about. I'm gonna get back to the basketball talk because that's good. I just wanted to get this out the way. But I'm proud of him for that. Like Chance continuously puts forth puts his money where his mouth is and does things for the city of Chicago that most people don't do. I just wish he wouldn't go through the public school system because they just going to waste that money. Like it's not like the public system don't get money from the government. Now, the black school systems and such, they don't get as much money as the white school systems, obviously. And it's because the school system gets paid based on the community. You feel me? Like if the community around it is making money, then it's more taxes, and all those taxes pay for schooling. That's how white schools are so much better than black schools. But the problem is this $2 million, 100,000 to 20 different schools. Hopefully, they're all black schools who really are in need of the money. That's a drop in the bucket for all of the losses that these schools inquire all the time. So even though that money should go to the mental well-being of children, I can see it going in a bunch of different directions that money's not supposed to go and these kids don't get the help that they deserve. I would hope, I pray that it does go in the right direction. Don't mess it up. But anybody who's watched The Wire, you know the school systems are fucked. And that's going to, and 2 million ain't going to save it. Like there was uh like in The Wire, they was talking about, and The Wire is based on a lot of true events that has happened in Baltimore. Like they take it and they twist it or whatever, but for the most part, a lot of it is true. But they was talking in The Wire about the school system where they had a $35 million deficit based off of just misappropriating the money that they got from the government and such. What is 2 million going to do when there's school systems out there that's that bad? When like they need the governor to come down and send some money to get that off of their backs. You feel me? So and as I said, hey, he got a great heart. I love the fact that he's doing that for the kids. People have to step up financially. It's their fault for not doing anything. Eh, see, the thing about it is there's a reason why the school systems are designed off of the money that the community makes. It goes back to racial policies from the 60s. I believe it's from the 60s, where they outright said that this was racist too. Like the people who designed it made it on flyers and stuff on why they wanted it to be that way. High middle class don't exist, bro. Not no more. Like anybody who gets paid from the hood, with all of these schools that need this money, they leave the hood for the suburbs. You feel me? Like it people need, like how people were saying that how we need to buy back the hood. We need to go ahead and like the people who make all money instead of leaving the hood, buy up the hood so that that way you can have the financing for the schools to actually make it all seem right. But yet we all know most black people who come up, they're going to go ahead and leave the hood and live in the burbs in a house or whatever and be a target for all of the white people who don't want them there. Like how they ran up in J. Cole's spot. That's the way things go. And it was all designed way back in the 60s. It was called the red lining and green lining. It's how they designed which neighborhoods would get the funding from the government. And that was all based off of racial bigotry, pretty much. Anything, any black community, your black communities did not get the money from recessions and shit like that that was needed to build up neighborhoods and such. But the white neighborhoods did. They were the green linings, and the red linings was us. We didn't get anything. Like there's a show that you guys should watch. It's Adam Ruins Everything. If you don't want to listen to me as a black man telling you this, Adam Ruins Everything is a white dude who explains this exact same concept. Uh, like just do a search. Adam Ruins Everything housing, and he'll give you all of the information about it, or where how the racial profiling and the racial bigotry, how it all created the suburbs as we see it. Because the cities were actually like until black people started moving into the cities from the south, white people was in the cities. They didn't want to go nowhere. Then here comes black people, free black people. So they decide we're going to get away from these black people and move to the suburbs, and we're going to take everything with us. That's how the movies almost fell apart because nobody was there watching anything, and that's why they started doing black exploitation movies and kung fu movies because it was all cheap and it was all designed towards the black people that moved into the cities that white people for the suburbs. And the suburbs ultimately are the ones who took all of the money, the resources, and all of that stuff, leaving the cities for black people to rise. Basically, basically, all I'm saying is this type of money can be used better that Chance the Rapper is donating because these innermost cities for education is fucked. Like, bruh, it was designed to be fucked. And it's still fucked to this day. And they're not going to fix it. So he's doing a great thing by putting his money where his mouth is, where his heart is, doing what he feel is right. But exactly what is it? Exactly what is going to come from this when the entire system is done, bro? And that's like one thing about going all the way back to the beginning of this show when I was talking about a video where a guy was breaking down the Matrix trilogies and stuff. He was saying that the second two Matrix movies is talking about how you could stop being controlled when people on every side of you are controlling. Like when when the whole movement that Neo was trying to create to go ahead and get the people free when that was controlled by the same people who implemented the whole fact that they held us down, held the human race down. Like the machines was operating on both sides just to control the population of the people. You feel me? And that's exactly what it is with us out here in these neighborhoods and us out here in life. You feel me? Because the powers that be that hold us back, they're playing both sides. And we lose either which way. Like everybody's on that. We need to vote Democrat so that we can get all of these Republicans out of office, so that we can go ahead and get Trump up out of it. But yet, it was the Democrats that put in the super predator laws. That was Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton that all these black people wanted to vote for. These people put in the most vicious laws and help consistently push like the drug laws. Adam rules everything, dude. It's a show about facts, and he breaks it down in a comedic way. And a lot of these facts, I say these facts all the time. I don't need Adam to tell me these things, but yet he puts it in such a manner that everyone can accept. Like, definitely peep that joint. Oh. What up, Tyrus? We already talked a little bit about that Mozzie album. I peeped that joint already. I peeped that Willie the Kid project as well. I'm not going to review either one of them, and I don't think the Willie the Kid was. I mean, Willie the Kid was cool. That's why I'm registered as an independent, and I'm probably done with voting at this point. I feel you, Josh, but see, there's certain things that we can do though. It's got to be more like, instead of voting for what for whoever we have at the time, we got to actually put money behind the people who gonna say that they're gonna do something for us. You feel me? Like create super PACs, like actually do work politically instead of just vote for people. It's like it's why Obama didn't do anything for black people for the most part, because who put all the money on Obama? It was the gay and lesbian people. It was uh, the middle class liberal white people. They put all of the money behind. They put all of the money behind Obama, and that's why when he was in office, everything for them. We need to roll up on these people. It doesn't matter if the Republican or Democrat, because neither of them is on our side. But yet, if they need our vote, like, what exactly are you gonna do for black people, bruh? Like, first of all, I need to see black people, not minorities, like not Latins and Asians and Mexicans, because these people are against black people. Let's not deny that. But we need you to get black people out of jail for these meaningless drug charges that they got caught up in, that you guys put on us through the CIA and all of that stuff. We need all of these people out of jail. We need all of our black people to have our ability to vote again. Facts, Sean. A minority is stupid. Did you know they trying to make pedophiles into a minority? Like the pedophiles that mess with little kids. They're trying to say that they are a minority in America. And that's why I'm cool on any kind of talk of us minorities need to stick together. What is a minority, bruh? I don't support none of that minority stuff. I support my black people who are here in America that descendants of slaves. And I mean, it's not like I don't like Africans or anybody like that who come over from wherever they're from, but to be real, a lot of them be funny style too. Like I've come across Nigerians, man, that be talking reckless about black people. Actually, see, the thing is, I be doing all of these African parties and stuff like that, man. And like my homie that I do it with, he's a African promoter and all that stuff. He does his thing and he's cool. He says some reckless things at times that I don't agree with, but yet he got a good soul. He's a good dude. I rock with him. But when I be out and about, these people always want to talk. Well, these black people out here just so lazy. Like, don't you know these white people say the same thing about your African ass? But on top of that, like all of these women out here, like they be choosing up on me, bro, when I be out and about at these parties all the time. Like, yeah, do you know hey, my Igbo, are you from Africa? And they try to like mash their titties together and put them all in my face like I'm about to choose up on them. Like I ain't from Africa, baby. I'm from fucking Pittsburgh. I'm from the north. And you see instantly how they get turned off. Like as soon as you tell them that you not from Africa, that you just black, no, these African people act funny as shit about that shit, bro. And I mean, see, my thing is, I find it funny because I don't really like some of them be sexy. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Some of them be pretty sexy, dude. But when they start talking that shit, man, I be cool on them, bro. But if you ain't one of them, like a first generation or second generation transplant from Africa, then they ain't really rocking with you for multiple reasons. Like I don't know how it works, but I know of a, a bunch of these Africans who came over here to America. They get a check from the American government to be there. Facts, Sean. Fucking facts. But they have like the world, like Africans and Caribbean, and a lot of these people, man. Not all. Like I think Haitians are, for the most part, down with the cause of not all, but a lot of Haitians are down with the cause of black people uniting worldwide type stuff. But yet there's a bunch of black people that don't rock with American black people. They feel as though they're better because they're from the motherland or they're from wherever they're at, and black people are lost and they have such a negative view of us because maybe America puts the negative view of us out there. Huh. What part of Nigeria? So you're Igbo. Okay. Like my homie, he's an Igbo. Now, okay, Sean, you're first generation Nigerian. Now, in order to come over here to America, now, okay, so your parents, being first generation Nigerian, that means your parents were the ones who came over from Nigeria, right? Like, was you born in Nigeria or were you born in America? Is what I'm asking. Because as first generation Nigerian, I think that means so you were born in America. Okay. Now, does your parents born and raised in Cali? All right. Now, did your parents get a check come over from Nigeria to live here in America? Because I I can't quite contemplate it because I know a lot of these Nigerian people that's here who came over here from Nigeria. Like A bunch of them don't do shit, but yet they're out here tricking money left and right on all of these young hoes that don't want to fuck with me because I'm from America, because I'm from America and shit. But yet, and I've always questioned where the hell these dudes, your mother came out here alone. Okay, because a lot of these Nigerian, not all of them Nigerian, some of them come from there's there's a lot of Africans from all over Africa here in Charlotte, and a lot of them got money, bruh, but yet they ain't got no fucking jobs, and they out here blowing all of their money on these hoes. Like they be out here every day at like the bar blowing mass amounts of money so they can smash these chicks. And I've always questioned where the hell does this money come from, bruh? And it's not like it's just one individual. It's like a good collective of all of these African individuals who's out here balling nonstop, trying to get these young hoes who don't have any interest in them except for taking their fucking money. And they get like aggressive. I know like Nigerian people get aggressive. Like this one old ass nigga look like a granddad. He up in the club trying to wear like FUBU and shit. No, it ain't FUBU, but he dresses good though. But all of these chicks, they trying to holla at, and he just starts jamming like money down these chicks' titties and shit. And they catching like feeling like the everybody like all these chicks like the bottle girls is catching feelings like don't you touch my titties. uh yes, I feel you. But I mean, my thing is, where the hell does that money come from, bruh? If they ain't got no fucking job, they ain't got no fucking businesses. I don't be seeing them doing no moves. All I see them every weekend and during the weekend shit when I was working out as a bartender, I see them pop up blowing all this money on bullshit. And I mean, the thing is, that's why my homie I said who's the Nigerian, he's the one who told me, man, they only want to rock with Africans because they blow their money doing dumb shit. And these hoes out here, they know that Americans don't really do that. Like black niggas here in America, we got swag. We got enough swag to get women without throwing money at them. You feel me? They think that they on some pimp shit, dude, but pimps ain't got to drop $1 on these chicks in order to get their mind right. You feel me? Like the pimp game is all about understanding the mind, using the mind to conquer the body. It's not even about sex. Like most pimps, not most, but a lot of pimps have zero sex with the women, unless it might be like a reward type thing. That like, yo, you been out here getting my money. You've been getting my money like I need you to get my money. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you have sex with me today. That's how a lot of pimps actually work. You feel me? Some Nigerians got money from their family wealth. Yeah, I be seeing a lot of these dudes out here on that I'm the Prince of Zumonda shit, and they be selling these hoes dreams and shit. And I mean, I can understand that because all of the resources are in Africa. If there has to be a few families in fucking Africa who got some of these resources or the ability or was like a middleman for these white people as they're taking all of the resources out of Africa so they can get paid. Like somebody is getting money within here. You feel me? So there has the all that poverty shit that they show on TV. I don't be believing that. Nah, I know there be some fly Nigerian shit. I know there's some fly South African shit. I know there's some fly shit all over Africa. So a bunch of these people can be like based off of the money from there. It's not necessarily the government. Like, cause there was a time where I'm thinking, is the government cutting these niggas checks to come out here? because I don't understand how these niggas can be coming to America and not doing a motherfucking thing, but blowing and tricking off their fucking money on hoes that maybe they smashing. I don't know. It is what it is. But to go backwards, Isaiah, you definitely got to understand what the pimp game is all about, brother. Pimp game, pimp game ain't about sex. Pimp game is about getting your money up, using your mouthpiece to get women to do things that they want to do anyway. Like, don't ever get it twisted. Ain't no hoe out there on the stroll that don't want to be there unless they like got caught up in some bullshit, like, cause they will do that in like it's what the movie Taken was based off of. Like they would just snatch up chicks from the airport and force them into the whorehouses and shit. That does happen. But when you talking about pimp game, that's pretty much you talking to a woman and getting her to get out there on the stroll to make all kinds of money. Okay. But I mean, facts. It's some Princess Zamunda shit that a lot of these motherfuckers out here be doing, and I can't co-sign it. And it's always those Princess Zamunda niggas that always want to look down at a nigga like me because I'm from here. I'm a descendant of some fucking slaves, nigga. Or if well, I'm not even entirely sure I'm a descendant of slaves though, because if you didn't know, black people were here before like America came. Before America started bringing in slaves from Africa and such. Black people were already here. And we were like a lot of the Native Americans as we see them now ain't what the Native Americans actually were. Like black people blended in with the Native Americans. Like you couldn't really tell the difference between black people and the natives. That's why black people was here to begin with, one, and two, that's why like the Cherokee Indians and stuff, like they would always have like a black man. Like in order for these people from Europe to control America, they had to have black people go into the native regions because black people blended in. Like black people from Africa that they brought over, they were the ones that went to established cities like Detroit and Chicago. I believe Detroit and Chicago were founded by black people because white people couldn't do it. As soon as white people come around, is who were black, who blended in with black people, it was on and popping. They'll straight up kill these people. A lot of America would not allow these people to come through, but they would use black people to go out there and make things okay for them, and then they go on in there and take control. That's how it would work. But obviously, black people were the original people here. So basically, to trace back my origins, I I can't find a slave in my bloodline. But I mean, the records are so fucked up. You really don't know. But like, cause the earliest record of my family bloodline goes to somebody who wasn't a slave in Charleston, South Carolina. But yet, so I mean, I'm it's 50-50. I could have been indigenous, my bloodline could have been with the indigenous people, or all the records are just lost and I was right there with the slaves and stuff. Like my bloodline is directly off the slaves. I wouldn't be able to tell you because all the records are gone, and specifically they specifically lost this shit. So you won't find that shit. So you won't find who you was at the motherland and have a different country to actually accept you type shit. Uh, but we've been on here for an hour and a half. Anybody got any questions, man, before I log up out of here? And yes, Tyrus, if you still here, bro, I did hear that Kevin Gates album. Not sure if I'm going to review it though. Hmm. I imagine. I mean, see, the thing is, like, it's a different culture wherever you at. You feel me? And it's always based on the individual. As long as you stay true to your kind, because obviously we are getting gunned down out here in America. Like, if you look like me, then you are getting hunted like me. Now, a lot of these dudes out here in Charlotte, they act bougie better than all the other black people, but they're gonna get their wake up call eventually. As long as you realize you right there in the same boat. There's a bunch of other African people like my mans that I do the events and stuff with. He recognized that we in the same boat too, for the most part. I'm gonna say for the most part. So I mean, just as long as you ain't tripping out, bro, that's all I care about. Like I know there's gonna be a mass amounts of coons that come. Like they America, like in order to let a lot of these African people over, they specifically they specifically make them coon out. You feel me? Like they like the people who get the paperwork approved to be able to come over to America, they have to answer certain questions and all that stuff. And these questions, a lot of times, they go into the direction of uh it goes in the direction of cooning. Do you love America? Do you overtly like you pretty much they tell you to avoid black people because we have been considered the most threatening thing in America, going back to the Black Panther Party and all of that stuff. You feel me? So a lot of the people who's coming off of the boat directly, like those generations, they're typically going to be the coons. They're typically going to be the ones who act funny style against black people. But first generation individuals, I rock with a bunch of them that are cool towards black people. Yeah, man. The tests, all of like the whole test and all of that for you to come over, I mean, you notice whenever America has a war with a country, all of those people who sold out their own race, sold out their own people, the coons of the people, they are the people that get the paperwork to come over to America. Like the Israel, the Iraqis and all of that stuff who went to war with America and stuff, like they wouldn't surrender to America. It's always the Iraqis that sold out the people that they decided to give the paperwork and let them come to America because they would die either way. It's the same kind of processing that they do for people of Africa. You feel me? It's all designed to get the coon. Like if you're gonna come over here, you gonna be a coon, bro. But I'm gonna go ahead head out of here, brothers. Try to grab me something to eat for the night. Y'all be easy though.